Are we live?
Yep.
Live. Hi, guys. Tina Torres here, client retention expert and gratitude specialist. And if those of you who do not know me, you're not allowed to say nothing yet. Those of you who do not know me, I am the customer relationship manager here at She Network with Taylor, and we have a special interview for you today. So today the tables have turned. She is going to be the interviewee, and I'm going to be the interviewer. For those of you guys who do not know, Taylor and her husband just launched an amazing book. This is like, okay, so they're calling it the second Bible, right? They're calling it the Bible of network marketing. And I really seriously think it is because, first of all, I need to fly to Texas and get this autograph. But second of all, this is just filled with amazing, amazing content. We had them on the Angel and Tina morning show the other day, and they said to get 3 copies.
Hey guys.
No, you're not allowed to say nothing yet. She's not used to not being in control. So we had her on the Angel and Tina morning show. They said to get 3 copies. 1 copy to write in, like your Bible, like you're going to be writing in the here, you're going to be highlighting and underlining. 1 to keep with the autograph on your shelf, and 1 to give away. So in today's interview, we have the one and only Taylor Thompson, founder of She Network and co-author of the #1 best-selling book on Amazon.
Hello.
She Network, Taylor.
Oh, thank you so much. Hey, ladies, like, so happy to be here. The table's being turned. I'm not used to it, not in control. That's so crazy. But let us know you're here. We want to say hi for sure. Those of you who are coming on, we're going to have some nugget. Sorry, that's my fur baby.
She's probably mad that there's bacon grease in her hair.
Oh, that's a whole nother story. All right. So like, ladies, okay, make sure you let StreamYard know, because otherwise all we see is, I don't know who said this. It just says Facebook.
Oh, yes. So make sure you let StreamYard know. I'm going to go on Facebook and see if I can watch the comments while you're talking. Okay. But make sure you let StreamYard know that we can get your comments so we can see that, and then that way we can highlight you. And if you are one of the lucky ones who have already gotten your book, put that in the comments that you've gotten the book. And if you do, we have a special thing for you guys. We want you guys to go on Amazon and go write a review. And if you do, you're going to get put into a drawing at the end of the week on Friday. Taylor's going to go live and do a special drawing for all of those who have put a review into Amazon. Because those of you who don't know, when you do that, it helps Amazon create that algorithm for them to sell more books. So why this? Why now?
So this is such a great question, and I thank you so much, Tina, for ladies like be here. Thank you so much, appreciate each and every one of you for ladies here in the She Network. And I want to talk about this. And normally, like, we've been doing interviews with Larry and I, but we thought it was kind of, because this really ties into my story, right? And I want to talk about, I'll tell you a little bit about my story. For those of you who don't know, Larry and I's story, I started in network marketing 27 years ago, right? Almost 28 years ago. I know I started when I was 3, but, it's been I'm just kidding. But I was like a lot of you ladies out there who, just wanted mom care. Like, I just was looking for a way to make an extra $800. That's all I cared about. I never saw myself as being a top earner or a guru leader. I didn't even know what that looked like. I didn't know what that meant. Hey, Marissa, how are you? So I didn't know even what that looked like, Tina. And
that's a normal thing, though. Like, a lot of network marketers, they get into a business just to make like an extra $500.
Yes, and that
$500 is a make or break in a majority of the income in the households right now. Yeah. So $500 is considered a bankruptcy or not a bankruptcy, right? And so I think a lot of moms are, I just want to make an extra $500. I just want to put my kids into soccer. I just want to get ballet classes for my little girl.
Yes. And so many times I think as networkers or whenever you're in this kind of business, we've kind of lost sight of that. So always try to bring it back to home base. And so for me, whenever I started, I mean, you have to remember that long ago, there was not a network marketing company on every corner. There was no social media. There was no internet. Okay. There were no cell phones. I mean, most phones were still hardwired to the wall. There was pick up the
like home parties.
Yeah. I mean, like
meetings every Monday night.
We did belly to belly kind of networking, but not to derail on that piece of it. I'm just trying to paint a picture of like what that was like in the network marketing space. And I was very, very, very fortunate because I came into what I call a learning teaching environment. I came into this culture. I came into this space. I tripled what I wanted to make my very first month. And I didn't know anything. I made $2,400 my very first month. And I don't say that like I'm bragging. I'm saying that because, I was taught a few key concepts and I grabbed a hold of those and I ran with them. And it worked.
Remember what those concepts were?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, first of all, it was all about my story. And so I want to take it back to this piece right here because I was answering ads in the newspaper, right, to, work from home opportunities. And what was happening for me is I was answering ads and they were telling me, and I'll tell you, it was Herbalife, right? I was like, now I want everybody, I'm painting the picture here because I think this part is very important because I had just had a baby. I needed to lose weight. These products were weight loss products. And they started talking. I would pick up the phone. They were answering the phone. I'm answering an ad and they started talking about their products. Even though I needed to lose weight, even though I needed those products, I could not hear that part because all I wanted to hear was, how do I make money? I just need to know how I'm going to make money doing this.
I called this to get a job, not to buy products. I don't have money to buy products.
Well, and you don't realize what was happening at the time, but I mean, it was like tilt that didn't make sense to me. Yeah. But what did make sense to me whenever I continue to answer these ads and I'll tell the whole story, all the in-between story, because it's kind of a little crazy. Like
it really is. And it's almost like a network marketing fairy tale. And I like it. You and I both have a similar past story, but it is like a network marketing fairy tale.
It really is because I answered ads and I made like beaded jewelry. I don't know if they even have these kind of things. I was answering ads like work from home stuff envelopes, kind of thing. I processed goat hair out of my bathtub. Now that's a whole story in and of itself, and I don't want to derail.
I've been telling you that you need to write your own book, right? This is a whole nother book.
It is
hair in the bathtub.
Yeah, I know it's kind of crazy. But here's what happened. Whenever I answered this ad and whenever they told me this story, and this is why I'm so passionate about people's stories and their journeys. This is why I created the She Network, because, you find yourself in someone else's story that you can connect with, that you can relate to. And I just love people's stories. I love their journeys because that's what got me. That's what got me into this is that I believe that, wow, because they told me this little couple that I grew up in West Texas and, they were making $10,000 a month in this little bitty town out in West Texas. And I thought, wow, gosh, if somebody like that, not very far, I was like going, gosh, if they can make that kind of money, surely I, processor of goat hair, can make 800, right? And
the processor of goat hair.
Processor of goat hair, yes. And that's how I got started. And but I mean, I learned these concepts about telling stories, and what happened for me is I got on the product, I got great results, and I lost like 7 pounds in my first week. I went on to lose 28 pounds, went from a size 14 to a size 6 in 30 days. I mean, and and I learned how to be a storyteller, right? I learned how to be a paid storyteller. And so
everybody knows, and you guys that are out there in network marketing, you guys know, or you should know, that stories are what sell. Facts tell about your business, but stories, that's what sells. Like, so Taylor and I met because I reached out to her. We got on a 15-minute phone call and ended up being like an hour and a half. I don't think we've ever had a 2 hour. I don't think we've ever had just a 15-minute phone call. Even last night, I was like, I got 15 minutes, an hour and a half later, still on the phone.
Still on the phone.
But we shared that story. We shared that story in common, and we became really good friends because of that story and the past that we both shared. So you guys think about your story, no matter how bad it is, no matter how good it is, that story of you losing the weight, of you being a new mom, of you just having a baby, and losing, going down, what, 6 sizes, 7 sizes?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was crazy, but I mean, and I didn't really know anything. But I was learning these things from this learning teaching environment, right? And so immediately they put in my hands, these cassettes. Now, guys, cassettes, maybe some of you don't even know what cassettes are.
I don't have any.
Sometimes I'm talking to people, they don't even know what CDs are anymore, but they're these little cassette things that you put into a little recorder.
Some of the radios you had to flip around and rewind and play games, and then that way you can flip it around. You guys have no idea how easy you have it right now.
It's so true. It's so true. And so it was called the Millionaire Training. Now, so everybody was like talking about Larry Thompson, Larry Thompson, Larry Thompson, Larry Thompson. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, right? Well, and unbeknownst to me is that my upline, right? My upline was his sister, Tish Roisin. So Tish Roisin was the first Herbalife distributor in the state of Texas. Tish and Larry, brother and sister. So I came into this.
I call it the Bible. The Millionaire Trainer is the Bible, because it's like, okay, remember when Cain and Abel back in the day, and they went this way and they went this way? It's like that. It's Larry and Tish, and then Tish met Taylor, and Taylor, she introduced him. I mean, it's like the Bible.
It really is. It really is in kind of a weird way. But I mean, so he was my mentor from afar. Those cassettes, I wore those cassettes out. I learned how to do the fundamentals. I learned and metabolized the basics. And that's all I knew. That's all I knew to do. And that's how I grew my business from being a stay-at-home mom of 3. I ended up being, multi 6-figure income earner of 3, as a single mom, right? And so, but it was all because I learned the fundamentals. And so, that's why whenever, this book means so much to me, because, whenever I think if I wouldn't have had those concepts, if I wouldn't have learned those, what would my life be like without it? Without learning those things, without learning Larry always calls it a half a dozen things. You only have to be good at about a half a dozen things. Yeah. And so the first thing is whenever I said, we've got to do a book, Larry was like, no, I mean, he's probably the most humble human being.
He really is.
He just really has no idea the impact that he's really had on our space in this industry, without question. And so for me,
we've seen that when we had you guys on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, because all the other authors were on. And like, Larry, I just wanted to tell you, you changed my life 27 years ago. Larry, I just wanted to tell you, you said this one thing and it changed my life. Larry, I just wanted to tell you this one thing that you did. And I don't think he even realized it is just that one little seed that he planted 27 years ago in all these people's lives, and he was able to have their whole lives change.
whenever you think about this, because this was recorded. And so for those of you who don't know about this, so this was recorded, in February, it'll mark 40 years. So make sure you guys mark your calendars. We're going to do a special birthday celebration in February, the weekend of February 2021. So 40 years. But
hopefully we'll all be able to go into a live event and do this.
Yes, that's the plan. That's the prayer. And you go, well, how is that even relevant today? But I mean, I'm painting this picture because I think it is so relevant today, probably now more so than ever, because principles never change. Concepts never change. And these are the things that Larry 53 years ago, whenever he started as the long-haired hippie construction worker, but, and so we actually transcribed the entire, cassettes. And whenever what happened is they started with these cassettes. These cassettes were in every distributor pack that Herbalife had that went out. So and you got to think about it. 40 years ago.
It was the foundation, though. It was the foundation. This is how you do it. Don't change it.
Well, and there was no social media, right? There was no internet or, coaching or there wasn't all of these.
Let's get on a live. I can tell you this.
Right. And they didn't have those kind of tools, right? So whenever we did the transcription, and then I was like, okay, what if we just started, what if we took all the stories? Because I was like, if we go social proof this, right? And so I started doing the interviews, and I started doing interviews with all the contributors that were started out with Larry back in the 80s, whenever some of them had, we think of Jeff Roberti as the broke waiter who, and now he's known as the $100 million man, right? You think about Rolf Sorg, who, he learned how to speak English listening to Larry's training. I mean, and his company just hit $1 billion in 2019. You've got, from everywhere, from every company, but why this was so significant is because all of these students, they were students of Millionaire Training. And then in 1985, Herbalife, because they were so successful, they had so much success, what happened is the FDA sued them. The FDA sued Herbalife. And you got to think about big pharma, because people were getting healthy, using the products, they were losing weight. All of these things were happening, and big pharma didn't like it. That was a big deal. And whenever they went to Washington to fight it out, they didn't lose. But the only thing that Herbalife had to do was change 16 words on their labels. But in the process of that, because they were getting such bad media coverage, I mean, USA Today was telling people that their products were killing babies. And that's a hard challenge to overcome, as any distributor would know, right? And they lost 100,000 distributors overnight, literally overnight. And because of that leadership, right? That leadership of these guys who started, right? And took that briefcase of skills that they learned from this training, and they took it into the marketplace, and they built
It was rebuilt.
Yeah, you talk about Juice Plus, you talk about the companies that came from it, like PM International, you have Prepaid Legal, you have Prove It, Herbalife, Modere, you have World Ventures, New Skin, right? Immunotech, Isogenics. Those are the stories that you have inside of the book. And so I'm going to bring it back full circle here, because why this is so relevant and why it's so important today is because, this really is about network marketing. This is not about marketing. And let me just say, I'm going to go back to my story, right? My story meaning, I just wanted to make an extra $800. And whenever you think about, somebody up here mentioned the gig economy, right? The real gig, and this is Rochelle. And I'm going to give a shout out to the real OG.
OG. I love it, because in my Amazon review, That's what I put in there. This is amazing content from the real OGs.
Now, I give a shout out to Rochelle, because Rochelle was the very first one to purchase the book. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Way to go, Michelle. She's an absolute amazing student of ours. But whenever you think about $500 to $1,500 a month, right? And whenever you give somebody that environment, like what I had, right? And you give them some foundations, you give them some principles, you give them some concepts to take to the marketplace, that they can go out and equip them with a way to make that money, right? We don't have to teach, but so many times people have gotten derailed, and they think they have to be marketers before they're network marketers. We want to teach them all the techniques.
They want to find out everything. I need to find out the whole compensation plan. I need to find out everything in the products. I need to find out this. I need to find out. And 6 months later, they're still need to find out. And all these other people are making all this money.
Right. And so we just, I think our goal and where our passion is just to really, take everything back down to fundamentals, back down to core values, back down to, where the rubber meets the road, and really be inclusive of that mom like me, that just needs an extra few $100s, like Larry, the long-haired hippie construction worker, right? And that's what this is truly all about, is and whenever you think about some of the key things, whenever I think about one of the subject matters in here of how to employ yourself, there's so many times like that's just a fundamental of if you're going to be in business for yourself, you kind of need to know that skill, right? And
tell us a little bit about your chapter in here. What is it all about? Without giving them the goodies, what is it all about?
Well, my chapter is really just about edifying Larry, really edifying him as, not only what he did for me and early on in my story, early on in how we met, early on, and not very many people get the opportunity to even meet their mentor, much less marry their mentor, right?
Is your fairy tale story in here?
A little bit, yeah. It's not in depth, but it talks about how we met and how we came together, and what at a time in my life, with my daughters and my 3 girls, and what an incredible role model he's been to them as a father figure, not to replace their father, but as a father figure, and being not only my knight in shining armor, my best friend, my mentor, my business partner. That's the real part of my story, and really just being my biggest cheerleader. He's what with Larry, what you see is really what you get. He's the biggest teddy bear and the biggest giver that I've ever, he teaches me stuff every day. And so I'm very, very blessed and very fortunate. And so really the chapter is really just about, edifying him and giving him, the accolades and the respect that, that I feel very, very blessed to have.
Yeah. And so for those of you guys who don't know their story, definitely get the Millionaire Training. You can get the Millionaire Training book if you go to themillionairetraining.com. You can go get it. It is a #1 bestseller, 2nd week in a row on Amazon. What is your favorite chapter in here?
Well, it's very interesting.
I know it's hard to say, which one would be the best. But if there was somebody out there who said, I only have like 10 minutes or 15 minutes to read one chapter, what would the one chapter be that would be able to change their life?
Well, and sometimes it kind of changes, because it's been very interesting process for me, because, keep in mind, like I'm an auditory learner, right? So it's auditory, but I'm a visual learner, right? So the only thing that I've had available was to listen to it. So now that it's been in the book form and I can visually see it,
Now you're learning something else. You're like, wait, did I even learn this back then?
It's so weird. It's so weird how that works.
Because now you're in a different season of your life, just like the Bible. Every time you open it up and you read the same scripture,
Yeah,
it means something different in every season of your life. You could have read it 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and then today you read the same one, and you're like, huh.
Yeah.
It means something different. So it will be that.
I want to ask the viewers here. So if put in there what the best, if you've got the book, you're reading the book, share with us your favorite chapter. Like, that's what I want to know. What's your favorite chapter? And then I'm going to tell you mine. I mean, right now, and I think I always come back to this because to me, it is such a staple for everybody. And I want you to think about whenever this was talked about, like 40 years ago. But it's a concept that anybody can grab a hold of, because the way that Larry teaches, he talks about in a story format, and it gets you to really grab a hold of it. And
you can create it and create that story in your mind.
Yeah, and that's the one that I love. It's called the mental projector, and it's so relevant, because no matter where you are in life, and no matter, you think about, this was talked about 40 years ago. I mean, more and more people talk about, vision boards, and, that's probably more prevalent now than it's ever been. But it's such a powerful concept to be talked about, 40 years ago, the mental projector. And he uses it, and it's like, if you don't like where your life is, then you've got to change the film in the projector, because this is the screen of life. What you're looking at right now is your screen of life. And if you don't like what's on the screen, you've got to change the film in the projector. And it's like, oh, okay. Like that. And I think that's so relevant. It's such an easy thing to do, but it's like Jim Rohn's always said, what's easy to do is easy not to do.
Yeah.
And it does come to the self-discipline aspects of it. And I think that more than anything, and Larry talks about his favorite part of the book, is that, and I'll share with you guys and tell you what page it's on. And it's this. I don't know if you can see this.
It's all backwards. You are enough.
You are enough.
That's funny, because I just did a post this morning that said, you are enough. You are enough. You are enough. And so many of us women, we think that we have to lose weight to do this. We have to lose weight to get online. We have to lose weight to do this. We have to be better, and we have to make this much money in order to be a coach. We have to, we have to create this life in order to do.
Right.
And we don't have to do that.
We don't.
We are enough.
We are enough. And here's, I think that's the ultimate message of, from Larry, from and this comes back to our Thompson rule that we teach, that, to create environments like the way I grew up, whenever Larry even talks about like how he came into the business, right? Because, his mentor at his very first meeting says, if it only works out 10% for you, the way it's worked out for us, it'll be the best thing ever. And if everybody would just wrap their hands around that piece of it, like, I'm good enough. I can start this business. I can start today.
When you heard that those people were making $10,000, you're like, if I can just do 10%, I just need to make $800.
Exactly. That's right.
I can fail 90% of the time. But if I can just make 10% of this work, that's all I need, because all I need is $800.
That's exactly right.
You did that 3 times more.
Yeah. And so it's one of those life lessons in business that if you just embrace who you are and don't feel like that you have to be better, that you've got what it takes right now, you just have to start. Yeah. And that's ultimately the message. That's ultimately the message that Larry and I teach and we communicate. It's ultimately the message that I want all the women in this space to really embrace.
Well, and that's what She Network is all about.
Yes.
Sharing her excellence.
Sherry, and look, ladies.
Oh, she's got new swag.
Okay, so this is not new, but this is for all the new members. We're going to be for founding members. The doors are still open. Become founding members, and so I wanted to share that. And we're going to be where a lot of people have been wanting the CEO shirt. So we're going to be getting.
Tell them how they can get started with She Network. What is there a membership? How do they get started?
Yeah, so to join, it's just $27 a month, or you can do an annual. It's $297 a year. But what?
Just $27 a month?
Yeah.
And they get 4 trainings a month.
Yes.
4 interviews with top network marketing women from across the world. Give you nuggets and discounts and all of these freebies, and that's just in our Facebook group.
That's just in the group. And like the content that has been building is, I mean, like, ladies, this is your because it's your opportunity to really tap into the excellence of other top tier women in our space, and take advantage and learn from their genius and learn what works for them, because you never know. It's like what you said in the early on. It could just be that one thing that changes everything. Yeah. And that's ultimately, what this community is about. It's about collaborating and not competing. It's really about really empowering other women, really encouraging other women, really edifying them. I love for the ladies to make posts about somebody that's really special to them. And, you never know, whenever that one word, that one encouraging word, that one, text message, that makes a difference for someone's day, week,
anything.
I
was thinking about you, and I just wanted to tell you that you are enough, and that you are good. I believe in you. Whatever you're going through right now, I believe in you. You got this. Let me know if I can help you.
Yeah.
It's things like that women, especially, as a single mom, or, like with me, I'm a single woman with, as an empty nester. It's things like that you get out of the blue, just to text, hey, I just wanted to tell you that you're beautiful and that I love you. And then if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know, and that you are enough. You got this.
You do.
But if you say that, if you have that prompting in you and you put it out there, it's because that person needs it. Yeah. And lo and behold, they're going to be like, how did you know?
How did you
know? It's like when you go to church on Sunday and the pastor's looking at you going, and this, and you're like, did he read my diary, or did he read my journal? Because he's talking like just straight to me.
He's reading my mail. He's
not. He's talking to 40 other people in that church.
Right.
So if you're going through it, there's somebody else going through it. So that's what She Network is about, that you can join a group like this and have other women go through the same thing that you're going through.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen to those promptings, ladies, share, take the time to send a message, take the time to make the phone call, take the time to make the post, whatever that looks like for you, because, it's like I said yesterday, you're in somebody's life for a
season,
or a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. You're in my life for a lifetime, because I've been dreaming about you and dreaming about us living next door to each other and having these weird dreams. I mean, because we talk late at night, so I think right before I go to bed, I'm thinking about Taylor.
Well, that's right. I need one. I need an extra pair of hands. But okay, so let's if you
tell how to get their book again.
So the millionairetraining.com, we're going to be starting a book club in January. So we're going to be doing this for those of you, we're going to be talking about Millionaire Training. We're going to be talking about these concepts. So it's free. It's free to join millionairetraining.com, our book club with Larry and myself. And listen, tag somebody in this post if you tag somebody in this post, I'm going to add your name into the drawing for Friday. So,
and if you buy the book,
yeah,
don't buy just one. Don't buy just two. Buy three. One for yourself to tag it all up, to write in it, to highlight. This is going to be your Bible. This is going to look. It's almost like Taylor's. Taylor's book over there looks a little rough around the edges because she's been opening it and opening it and opening it. So it's going to be that. And then have one that you can, in February, you can take and go get it signed.
Yep.
And put it on the bookshelf, and then buy one for that person you think that needs it.
So we're going to do that. So if you tag somebody, we're going to put your name in, we're going to put their name in, and along with the reviews, and we'll do a drawing. We'll do a drawing Friday morning. How about that?
Woo!
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Taylor. I think it's so funny because I was telling her, so let me interview you because if you're an influencer, if you have a big group out there, let us know. We're getting Taylor out there just to get the word out there about this book. Get it in as many hands as possible. Share this. Let us know if you want to interview her. We can get you on the schedule for this week or next week. But go buy the book. It's on Amazon. But go to millionairetraining.com. Don't buy one. Don't buy two. Buy three.
Woo!
And then let us know in the comments. Thank you guys so much. Taylor, is there one thing that you want to leave your audience with?
I think at the end of the day, I think today, make somebody feel special. Today, be an encourager. Today, be an edifier. And think of that one person that you can pour that encouragement into, because it'll be a boomerang. Mm-hmm. Because what you give out only comes back
tenfold.
So
tenfold.
That's
I love that. Thank you so much, Taylor. We will see you guys later. Remember, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central, there is a training here in She Network for members only. And Walsh is going to come back for her second or third.
This is her second 2 out of 3 series that she's going to be training on. The first one was to get clear, and then tomorrow night is I have to tell you this one. I have to take the moment because it is the emotional quotient. It's growing your EQ. Growing your EQ, your emotional quotient. So listen, all of these kind of things that help you grow you, right? So you can grow your team and so you can grow your check.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, love.
All right, love you.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you guys join She Network if you want to be into the members site tomorrow. Otherwise, every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central, there is an interview with a new top rep in your industry.
Woo. Bye, ladies. Have a blessed day.